Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Dazai Listener by me. So let's get into it. Being with Dazai was a challenge, because sometimes he could be such a mystery. You would never know what was going on with him, what he wanted, and he kept a lot of secrets, which was not something you liked. You loved him deeply, but you were only together as friends. No matter how close you were as friends, you would remain so. There was a difference between lovers and friends, and as far as he knew, he had no lovers before, and he didn't seem too interested to have one, aside from his jokes about wanting a pretty woman. Too, well, he didn't want to think about what he wanted to do. It was not good. Right now, all he wanted to know was why he was ignoring you lately. Why he was being so weird and so cagey. Sometimes you would ask him where he was or how he was doing, and he would be so mysterious for reasons that you couldn't even decipher. And when you called Kunikida, he always said that there was nothing important going on. In fact, there were barely any missions at the agency. So, whatever Dazai was doing, it was not related to his work, and that was not reassuring. The possibilities that were laid out before you were not good. Either he was doing something very dangerous, or he was getting together with someone, or maybe he just lost interest in you. Maybe you weren't able to keep up with him, and he noticed that, and decided he didn't want you around, not even as a friend. And that possibility hurt you a lot, but it was only that, a possibility, you told yourself, trying to stay calm, because that's all you needed to know what to do next. And after a bit of time passed, you were told by Atsushi that Dazai was on sick leave, which was not something that happened, not at all. He hardly ever got sick, that's for one, and even when he did, he was not the type to actually take a break. As much as he liked to act like he was lazy and didn't do any of the work, he worked hard. And sometimes he felt like a break was too much, with all the important work that they had to do at the agency. And now, with Atsushi being quite new there, he needed a mentor. And although Dazai was not the best one, sometimes he would have to do, especially when Kunukida was busy. What mattered right now was that Dazai was sick, and you were not sure if you should go visit him. He was ignoring all your calls. He was ignoring you completely, not responding to your texts or your questions, and you had a feeling that he didn't want you around. So after some hesitation, you decided that if he didn't really want you, then he should be at least brave enough to say it to your face. You were not asking for more than that, and what you were asking for here was not a lot. All you wanted was some closure. If he despised your presence, then you could at least tell you and let you know. It would hurt, deeply, but at least he wouldn't leave you hanging like this, because this was much crueler. To keep overthinking and doubting without knowing a single thing. So you got ready. You even made him food, soup, things that would be good for a sick person, because you knew that if someone held a gun to Dazai's head and told him to cook, this would be an easier option. It was simply that bad. And you didn't want him to be sick and alone, without anyone taking care of him. You would take care of him if he told you to, but maybe he didn't want to bother you. You at least hoped that this was the possibility, that was going to be true, and not any of the other bad thoughts in your mind. And when he knocked, he opened the door, and it looked quite like a mess. There was blood on his shirt, and his hair looked disastrous, and he had a blanket around his shoulder. Dazai? Just what is going on with you? You look horrible. Thanks, Ryan. And why are you here? I'm here because my friend is sick, and he's not telling me a single thing. So it's only natural for me to worry. I don't know about you, but, well, I don't know anything about you right now, actually, since you've been ignoring me for a while. So I guess that was what you wanted, since you don't seem too happy about me being around. You mumbled, with a hurt look on your face. And as I frowned at that, looking away. No, it's not what I wanted. Don't misunderstand. You can come in. It just looks like a mess. That's fine, you say, and you notice the lack of his teasing unusual jokes. There was something wrong, far more than just a regular sickness, and you could feel that. But Dazai was not willing to confirm those suspicions of yours. He sat back down on the spot on the couch, and there was a trash bin, and a lot of tissues, and a lot of blood, and there was something else that he tried to quickly hide, frowning a little. We didn't need to see all of that. That's why I didn't want you to come inside. You understand? But you would have thought something else. Dazai, I just really want to make sure that you're okay. You don't seem too good right now, and I don't want to lose you. You haven't had anyone care for you, and let's be honest, you and I know that you're terrible at taking care of yourself. So don't actually just try to convince me that you've been taking care of yourself and are eating well and sleeping well. Because that is something you just can't do. And now you're trying to convince me that you're fine and I shouldn't be bothered? I'm not fine, but you shouldn't be bothered. And why is that? You haven't been responding to my texts either. If you just don't want me around, that's okay with me. But have someone else at least. Have someone come and take care of you, so you won't be alone. And what's that blood on your shirt anyway? Whatever it is, it's not a good sign. Have you even been to a doctor? No. See? That's what I'm talking about. You complain, crossing your arms. He understands what you're trying to get at. He understands your concern. But he doesn't want to burden you, telling you that he's sick, and what he's sick with, that would only place a burden on your shoulders that you would not be able to bear. He couldn't risk it. If you didn't love him, then, well, you'd be hurt deeply. Seeing him hurt like this, with how kind you are, you would only blame yourself. He didn't want you to do that. He couldn't do that to you. But even with how much he worked to hide it from you, apparently, you just figured it out either way, and there was not a single thing you could do about it. He sat down, letting you see the petals, because trying to hide something that would inevitably be found out was not all that worth it. Now all you had to do was try to lie, and hope that he was convincing. Dazai? What are those flowers? You can't tell me, do you actually have hanahaki? I've never seen anyone with that illness, and it's really bad. Please tell me it's not true. It is. But you know, it's not so bad. In the end, I get to die in a beautiful way. Isn't that wonderful? Dazai, stop talking like that. I don't want you to die. Nobody wants you to die at all. Look at yourself. You're worrying me and others. You have friends who care for you. I care for you. Would you really be willing to let all of that go? Just because you're too stubborn to get treated? Or tell the person that you love them? It's not all that simple. And I don't have much will to live. It's perfectly fine by me. And at least it would seem like I didn't do it myself, so those around me can feel bad for it. It's not any better than anything else. Dazai, look at me. Tell me who it is. Tell me, and maybe I can figure something out. We still have time. There is a chance. You can't let that go. It would be stupid. If I did that, would you really agree with me? No, I'd never agree to that. See? So don't be a hypocrite. He pleaded, holding his hands and kneeling beside him. You could only look into his eyes and hope that with those eyes facing your own, he wouldn't lie to you. He couldn't handle that. Not at such a critical time. I'm not sure you'd want to know. I want to. I am asking. I don't care who it is. It could be your enemy for all I care. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is that I want you to get better. That's all I care about, Dazai. I still want to have you around. Tomorrow, and the day after, and the year after too. Please. He sighs softly, holding your hands gently and squeezing them. He feels guilty for doing this. But a part of him, with you looking into his eyes like that, and pleading for him to live, as much as you would have liked to see that it was because of your kindness, a small part of him hoped that it was for something more. That you loved him, perhaps, just as much as he loved you. That there was a chance for you out there. That maybe life was worth living. And so, after a deep breath, he kneeled down beside you and looked into your eyes. It's you. It's you, Ion. You're the one I love. You're the one that I can't stop thinking about, no matter what I do. You gasped softly, and tears welled up in your eyes. And soon, you were just wrapping him in your arms and holding him so tightly, like he would vanish if you let go. And he let you, staying completely still. Dazai, you absolute moron. You idiot. You could have told me. Instead, you just kept leaving me on red. Is that really what you do with people you love? You could have told me. Because I love you. I love you so much. I love you, Dazai. You repeated again and again into his ear. And suddenly he wrapped his arms around you so strongly, burying his face into the crook of your neck, inhaling your scent, like it was the first time he could breathe in months. He needed it. He needed you more than anything. You were like oxygen to him. And right now, all he wanted was to breathe you in, to feel satisfied, because you had given him life. I was prepared to die. I was prepared to die for loving a beautiful lady like you. It would have been beautiful. I don't care what you would have wanted right now. You're going to live for me, okay? If you love me, then this is the one thing that I ask. I want you to live, Dazai. I want us to be together. Live, you say, cupping his face in your hands and looking into his eyes. His beautiful eyes that could make your heart skip a beat on any regular day. But right now they looked so vulnerable. And he nodded, closing them, and burying his face into her neck once more. Now he could rest. Now he had nothing to worry about. Not his death, and not how you'd find him. Not what the agency would think, and not how you would feel. Because right now, a whole new chapter was here for him. And it was all thanks to you. It was thanks to your kindness and your love and concern that he would be able to see the sunlight again. And this time, he wouldn't be doing that alone. Because now, you'd be by his side.